Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We Are All Psychic, and Misty isn't here today. This is an audio only podcast, and we have a rad guest. Her name is Faith. Faith, would you like to say hello?
Hello. Hi,
And I
Lisa.
say hello back. Hello. So, listeners, Faith is here to answer a question, and she's just going to leave. Faith, Faith, do you think we're all psychic?
I definitely do.
Definitely
Yes.
do. Now, how did you get to that conclusion?
I really think it's a definition issue for a lot of people, the same as like God or these bigger concepts. I think for me, psychic means more like intuition, connection, insight, just your connection to your higher self and your inner self.
Right.
So I think that word, and you've talked a lot about this. I listened to a lot of your podcasts. I love your
Thank
podcast,
you.
by the way.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
so good. Oh my gosh. I wish I had had this podcast when I started.
That's
You're
why I
so
made it.
engaging. Yes. And you're so genuine,
Thank you.
like you're just yourself, your pros and your cons. And that's what I think we as a community really need. And the younger generation is bringing in
Oh, they
is
are.
just so much genuineness. And that's what some of what we're going to talk about, the spiritual ego. But when I first started within the what was called a psychic, which I don't even consider myself a psychic, but I am been a professional psychic for over a decade.
The label.
But yes, it's a label issue. And when I first started, my only really things to look at were these Hollywood people who were so confident, 100% all the time and knew how to do everything. And I felt like an imposter for a long time.
Yeah.
Until I found my way into what the label meant for me.
And also the people on TV, you don't see their flaws or their off times when they don't get something right. They don't get that much, or they do it all, where they they just got it wrong. We do.
Yes.
Some of us
do.
They don't and film it, edit. You don't know how many times they didn't get it right. So keep that
exactly.
We do.
Psychics
don't know everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet?
And we have hello. And we have, gifts, but not everybody has the same ones, and not everybody approaches their connection in the same way. And that's actually really beautiful. It's so unique. Yeah. And so much of what I've had to learn and unlearn is like, it's okay that I can do this and I can't do that. And it's okay to just say so.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And no one's going to ever be angry at you if you're not like feeling skilled enough at some area that maybe even you're working on. Like I've been working on astrology for a while, 10 years. I'm not nowhere near ready to predict something, nowhere near it. It's a hard one. So I feel really weird if anyone called me an astrologer, for example,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 99% of the time with clients, they're grateful.
They are. And, like I found with clients who are more flexible, they'll let me practice on them. I'd be like, I don't know this well. I'd really like to see, what you do know. Like clients, local clients, I spend a lot more time with because they're in person and stuff, But yeah, that makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like mediumship is so different how people do it, if it's clairvoyant, whatever. And I do. I take many breaks from mediumships on the platforms because people are expecting Hollywood psychic or those kinds of experiences. Yeah. And I just don't get those details, like to prove something. I just connect with the spirit as they are in whatever form they're in. Yeah. And if they've passed, they may not carry, for me, how I read, they may not carry any of those qualities of that personality anymore. Yeah. So people get disappointed. And often I'll just pass them on to a clairvoyant, not pass them on, but, suggest a different clairvoyant medium that works in this way that they're wanting. Okay. I love doing it, but I'm not really a lot of people's cup of tea when it comes to mediumship. But yeah.
Gotcha. So it's kind of how I am with astrology, maybe. Because like I feel like I love studying it, but I don't feel comfortable presenting it to someone and getting money for it. I would not feel good about that. Very wrong.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. I mean, I could get through over a chart, but I couldn't predict anything, at all. Kind of.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky. I'm just not, I love astrologists and what they're doing. And it's just not my skill. Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm gonna get it someday. I'll tell you what. So tell me about growing up. Was this normal in your family when you were younger, in your youth?
No.
No. Oh, hell, this is the goods.
No.
Yeah.
Um, I grew up in Ohio, and it was a Dutch German type heritage, and
Okay.
they were very straight and very much into no BS. Like the Midwest is very like, oh my God, that is so much crap, that kind of
Your
feeling.
audio went
And just
when you said that, it went. Yeah, the actual audio did. It was funny.
I think that's how they feel inside. And so there's this constant like looking for what if someone's lying, like, oh, that's a scam, that's this, that's that, And when I was growing up, a lot of like the professional psychics that you came across, not all, but a lot were kind of scams, So it was known as kind of a scam industry. And then in Christianity, some parts of Christianity really feel that psychic is,
Oh yeah, in the South. I'm in the South.
dark. Yeah.
Demons and the
Yeah.
demonic stuff. We talk about that a lot on the podcast too, because Misty and
Yeah,
I
I've heard you.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
South, it's just some people really do believe it's the devil's work. And if we do it, then we are working for the devil, even if we know it or not. It's they put it, you don't know you are. The devil's got
Yeah.
you. And I just don't really believe in the devil. So
Same.
So,
I think there's light and dark in this plane, like this material world, but I don't think there's like this heaven and then this hell where everybody's burning up. I think there's
I don't
the
think there's a
spirit
hell where
realm.
everyone's burning up or a heaven where everyone's flying in clouds. I don't know how it would be. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
They tell me what they experience, but it's and if you've listened to the podcast, maybe you've heard us talk about that book, Journey of Souls by Mike Newton, PhD. That book goes like into where after I read that book, that's what the spirits told me it was like for them. And I was like, whoa, that's what they told me. And so I feel like for me, that's how I get my belief system for around that, but I don't know how it works. I don't have any idea how mediumship works, for example. But
yeah,
you can rationalize some things. But anyway, I'm going off topic. I want to hear about you. I want to hear about your youth.
No, well, that's good because I've heard you and Missy talk about the no, like KNOW. No. And I feel that's at the heart of a lot of it. And I think what gets in the way of messages is the spiritual ego, which I know we're going to talk about. But just to go back to the youth thing. So then what happened for me is I developed a really personal relationship with God and how I saw like angels, light beings. Some people say the host, those kind of things. And luckily for me, my mom brought me into church and I got really into like choir and church activities. I was Methodist at that time. And I don't identify with any religions now, but we had the most incredible minister. We were so lucky. He was so awesome. He's actually written a book.
Methodist churches. I used to run one. I had a friend who'd take me to one sometimes. I like that they have women who can do everything the men can do.
Yes.
Yes. For me, that's a big deal.
And his name was Grayson Atha, if anybody ever wants to read his book, but it's just a simple book you can get on Amazon. But he really came into the Methodist church and tried to stir up trouble of things that weren't working. And he had congregants that were queer and they weren't allowed to be married there. And he was like, okay, well, we're not going to call our church Methodist anymore. We're going to call it this other thing. He just kind of stepped out, but he came in with the energy of like the, Pope Francis of like, what this is about is love of God. Yes, there's all these ceremonies and things, but this is about love of God, personal connection with God. And I was, as a child, you're so spongy and I just sponged it up. And he took time during the regular service that all the kids could come up and he would talk to them during the service, just in front of everyone. And then I got to the age where my mom didn't really want to go anymore. So she would like drop me off.
Yeah.
And so then I just started to have this very personal desire. And I continued that on. I studied psychology in college.
Personal desire for what? Exactly.
God, connection, like faith,
the divine.
Yes. Yeah. Like whatever that was that I was feeling. And I felt it most through music. I was very into music.
Yes.
And I have been told that the music is the closest energy you can get to the spirit realm. It's like
It makes sense to
the,
me because it's resonant
yeah.
and it's
Hmm.
you can't tell what music is. You can't explain,
Yeah.
you know?
And it can carry you. Like there's like a transformational energy and it can carry you
Yeah,
into your heart.
I'm actually learning sound bowls right now. If you
Oh,
just
you are?
check, yeah, and I've got some
Oh,
bells and
yeah.
tuning forks. I'm learning how to do all that. And I got a little bar of chimes just recently, so I'm learning. I'm gonna make learn how to do that, and I want to
Oh,
really
that's
learn how to mic
awesome.
it and make it sound good in stereo. So like I like
Oh, that's so
geek.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be part of your psychic school, right? Like the
might
sound part.
might be,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that too on your
Oh
podcast.
yeah, I'm excited about that. I don't know. We
Yeah.
talk about that some other time. I was going to announce this
Yeah.
when Missy's here. They've heard us. Yeah, you've heard us talk about it, but we're hoping to
Yeah.
launch it on September 1st. It might be pushed back. Not sure, but we're hoping
Uh-huh.
the day we're going to have it published. So
You talk about it on your there's like an 11-minute podcast where you talk about mentors
yes,
and you talk about it on there. And I really recommend that one to people who are looking for mentors. But anyway,
yes,
we'll go back to that.
yeah. I that. Thank you.
But yeah, that was really good. There's so many of yours that I really liked. But
Oh, thank you.
I so then I didn't, that was like in the 90s, and I didn't like, at that time psychology was still pretty much Freudian, and I
Yeah,
did internships with like an adolescent psych ward, an adolescent eating disorder center, and the people just kept coming back, and I was like, this is not
not
working,
working. Yeah,
something about it's not working. And so then I went on a search for, how can I help people? Like I really wanted to help people,
yeah.
and I tried a lot of different spiritual paths.
Would you say you wanted to help people have that divine love feeling,
Yes.
that feeling, the connection? I
Yes.
think so too. I think that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get other people to feel.
Yeah. And whatever suffering is in the way of that,
Yes, remove it or show them the how to. Yes.
yeah, like my heart would hurt for these kids,
Yes.
that weren't getting the help that they needed to not suffer,
Yeah, it's just that system has no heart in it and no soul, it seems like sometimes.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's definitely now a newer generation of
Yeah.
therapists who have it, who are
Yeah.
really great. And I have a great therapist
Oh,
now,
great. I have her
who
number, his
is,
number.
oh, you do?
I need your number. I need her,
Oh, yes.
your
Yeah.
therapist number.
Yeah. Yeah, she is a equine therapist, but she also does, Skype and all of that.
Okay. Okay.
But I really needed a body-based therapy, like somatic. I'd done so much cognitive work, which is the mind, and I needed something somatic. And it was one of those, what I call like these God things, but however people, when I say God, just please translate to whatever you see God as.
Deity of choice.
Yes, your deity, perfect. The one love,
Or
I always think it.
deities. Yeah.
Yes, or deities, or entities, or they all. I
Higher
always
power.
think they all.
The
Yeah,
one who
higher
created you,
power.
the one you
They,
love,
I,
you always. And
yeah, whatever this unseen something, and I always think they lead to the same one love,
it does. That's
whatever
what it feels
that
like.
is.
Have you ever felt
Yeah.
it before? Like had an angel or a guide let you feel that divine?
Hmm.
Isn't that's what I'm just like the first time I felt that. I can ask a guide and they'll, let me feel gratitude. That's usually what I'll ask a guide. Please, Sam, let me feel gratitude for something because and
Hmm.
they'll give me the feeling of gratitude. And I'll start thinking of it. And then usually I'll be like, hey, can you get some of that divine love in here, angels? And sometimes not. Most of the time that I can get it, it just feels amazing. It's just like, you're loved, you're precious, you're special, and it doesn't matter. You're unique and special, and you love yourself at that moment. You love everybody at that moment, right? And it's like
Yes.
if you could just stay there. Also, do you feel like some part of you just stays in those moments? Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
I feel some part of me is always connected to it, and
yeah,
what's not is like my ego, the
yes,
mind. It's like keeping me from it. So I feel like my whole life, and that's the answer to helping people, I think my whole life I'm looking for what is separating me from that love,
yeah,
be it like trauma experiences, or be it unworthiness or anger, or whatever's in the way. Fear, worry is a big one for me.
yeah.
um but it's like
Worry.
finding
Oh,
ways through that. Yes.
yes.
Yeah. And there's so many ways. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I can't, I don't feel that way all the time. I imagine if I felt that way all the time, I just would sit there because you
Yeah.
don't need anything else, you know? I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
like you said, oh, you would like to live that way, but I couldn't function. I'm just like,
Mm.
oh, everything's fine. I can live on this, you know? It's like if you have
Yeah.
food and water, and it feels like nutrition to the soul, almost,
Yeah.
you know? Kind of when you touch in with that, to me, it does.
Well, one thing I can share about that is that I have tried to stay in that. And what I've learned is that those are like what I would call spiritual experiences,
Yeah.
but they come and go. And
Yes.
that actually isn't the true, like the deeper connection. It's a symptom of it. But I believe, now again, this is all belief and faith and everything,
Yes, your
but
experience.
that, yeah, my experience is that that one love wants to help as many people as possible. So eventually you'll come out of that spiritual experience and then want to help, which you're doing
Yeah.
naturally on
Yeah.
your own. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like
You've been
spirit is
doing it too,
guiding
right?
you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean,
I
so
don't know what I'm going
clearly
to do
you're,
when I come on this podcast. I have no idea. I'm so, listeners, she did this wonderful thing and made an outline. And it's so helpful. I don't know why we've never done. I always give like little 5 bullet point thing, you know, and we just
uh,
this is beautiful though, listeners. She's prepared and she has got a lot to teach you still. Let's talk about the ego. Let's talk about the spiritual ego.
mhm,
Um,
yeah.
I really want to hear what you think of that because I have a lot of thoughts on that. I don't know if it's the term ego that bothers me about it, but I know what it's like. I feel like there's
Mm,
like some more words for that. You know, like
yes, I agree.
we need
Yeah.
our like someone on the podcast recently, I think, was talking about this, like how we need our ego for some things. I
Yes.
heard it on a podcast. I don't know, but
Yes.
and it's like, yeah, we do, but there is like something that blocks us from believing in ourselves and trusting our own words and our own senses because we've never been taught how to. That these are
Yes.
normal to me. I think that's a big part of it. And
Yes.
underlying and getting to them, you have to dig through all your muck. To me,
Yes.
to get
Yeah.
better at understanding how to use the energy. You know.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like our words and these labels, that's what, sometimes I think of Dr. Spock, like when they had, know, telepathy type thinking, and he was always like, words are just like so slow. But I think it's hard
Yeah.
because, some people I just use ego as kind of a catch-all term, which
That's like
God
psychic.
can be really fraught.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
The title of the show. I wrote on there that when I first started being a professional psychic, I wanted to write a book called Confessions of a Professional Psychic Who's Not a Psychic, because I just couldn't get with that term. And I still have trouble. Like I'll often say I am an intuitive empath, but I'll also
You're
say,
comfortable with that. That rolls
yes,
off. I'm an intuitive empath.
that I'm completely comfortable with. And I'll say I do spiritual counseling, but I think I just worry sometimes, the same as I hesitate, like with you, we've defined it, so I'm okay saying God, but like with my clients, I mostly say the universe, or because I don't want to hit into these older traumas, around these words.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, with ego, like some people call it shadow self. A great word for it is illusion. It's like your illusory self.
Your illusion
Yeah.
self. Okay, your illusion.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like
because it's not real. It's not who you really are.
Right.
Like who you are is one of the incarnations that has been a teacher to me is called Garasana. But one of the things he talks about is, and he is just, use whatever pronoun you want, but it's is yeah her is the beautiful gem. Like who you really are is a beautiful gem, and all the stuff on top is just like tar and muck, and it's not who you really are. But like you said so profoundly, was that is also your protection in this world. So for some people it's what resulted from trauma, it's what resulted from just trying to survive, so much of that. And that is like when you start to unravel that, you get more in touch with just the love that you have and that you can feel and give to others.
Right. So like what I'm thinking when I think of like blocks to my progress with feeling good and happy, because that's what I ultimately
Mm-hmm.
feel, um, is working with the energy. If you like astrology, for example, my moon
Mm-hmm.
is in the sixth house, which I learned
Mm-hmm.
means my health will reflect my in stuff, thinks and feels and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it does. I do have bad health, and whenever my mind's not good, my body won't feel good. If my body doesn't feel good,
Mm-hmm.
my mind won't feel good. But things I
Mm-hmm.
can feel and experience, like when I left my second husband, he was like verbally kind of rough on me, really.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved out, I was just covered in bruises. Like he didn't hit me, like ever. But
Yeah.
I got to this new apartment, and my whole body was just covered in bruises. And my dad's like, go to the doctor and get it checked out. I've always bruised easily because it's part of the disorder I have. But it was just head to toe bruises. And I really kind of felt like it was also not only was I just, boxes and moving and packing and stuff, but also just it felt like all the pain of the month I was in that house after told them we were done. I had to stay
Mm-hmm.
for a month until I could find a
Yeah.
place to live. I couldn't find anywhere. We couldn't find anything, got out after a month. And like that's what I felt like those bruises were. They were like manifestations of things he would say to me, coming out of,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I mean? Like coming to
Mm-hmm.
the surface, and I'm showing it because I left him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like showing it.
Wow.
To me, that's what I felt like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry you
And
had to go through that.
oh, he was just, you never know. And he wasn't like a horrible person or anything. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
we just weren't a good match in the end. I knew it from the beginning that he had a temper, and
Yeah.
just kept saying, okay, or okay, 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 whenever he'd say he was sorry. So, because I believed him. You know how that
Mm-hmm.
goes. How can a psychic
Yeah.
do that, right? But this is all hard part of how I got better at being a psychic reader. I figured
Mm-hmm.
out my ego placement in that relationship. I identified with the role he put me in, when I
Mm-hmm.
realized a lot of things, I had to fall out of love to realize that, step back and look. And I did fall out of love before I left him, because that's what made me step back and look and see with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I also was
Mm-hmm.
going through menopause, surgical menopause at the time, so I couldn't remember any. So a lot of times he would tell me, no, that
Yeah.
and then I started taking a supplement called lion's mane mushroom. I was taking a tincture. I make it now. It was expensive. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just buy the dried mushrooms or get some fresh ones and tincture. But
Uh-huh.
my memory came back really fast, and I didn't remember half
Wow.
of it. But I did remember happy stuff after a while. Like, when the kids were younger, I started remember having memories of them when they were really young and stuff. And
Oh.
it's just stuff like that, happier things and some good times with the ex, things that was confusing too at the time, because I'm like
Mm-hmm.
realizing, this isn't right for me. And, so this helps me now in my life when I meet people who are in a situation like that or have been, I can find someone to relate to. But and as a professional, it helps me understand when people are in those situations and why they can't get out,
Mm-hmm.
which I never understood when I was younger. Why don't you just leave
Yeah.
do that? And it's not that easy. You don't,
Yeah.
trick is the illusion, and in this
Yes.
case, my ego
Yeah.
is saying I need him,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. The illusion is very tricky.
Yes.
Very tricky.
And it
Yeah.
could take your whole life to get past one little thing, and that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we
Few
have more than one
lives.
lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think the older the soul gets, the more lessons, at least that's my observation. They go through lessons quickly,
Yeah.
like boom, I'm here to get as many as I can.
Some people are
And that's why
definitely
I
like
think,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Fast
And
forward.
that's why I think it's not a failure if you have more than one marriage or more than one relationship,
That's
because
fine. Yeah.
you're learning something and then you're done with the lesson and then you move on. And it's actually success
One thing
in
yeah,
a lot of ways.
one thing some people say is they say wasted time. You wasted all that time. It's like, no, I didn't think of it as wasted time.
Mm, mhm,
I because I
mhm.
do believe in reincarnation, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It
do.
helps.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, none of that time is wasted. I learned a lot of valuable stuff, and I'm finding more compassion for myself and for other people because of it. So,
Hmm.
and that's how what's what I want to do with it anyway. Take
Yeah.
the lesson out of it. And it's still the pain is still there, but the lesson will stay, I think, longer than the pain.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they say on a spiritual path that that pain that you've gone through actually builds fiber in your heart so that you have more strength that you can give to other
Really?
people. Yeah.
Like actual physical heart?
I think so, but I think more your,
You're energetic.
energetic heart chakra. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can feel it now. I didn't really used to feel it too much because I kept it so buried and hidden,
Yeah.
Capricorn moon.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, recently
Yeah.
guest taught me how to open my heart chakra, and I just
Hmm.
opened it up because she that's her thing. She can activate chakras. Everybody's got these things they can do that's so amazing, right?
Yeah. And I should correct that. I don't think it's your physical heart. I think I meant the heart chakra.
Heart chakra.
I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
about physical
I
heart.
think
That's
it
a whole
does.
other.
I feel like it's much. It always felt weak to me as far as like hidden. Like I couldn't express it or get
Uh-huh.
it out, be too vulnerable.
Yes.
But now it doesn't
Yes.
feel as vulnerable to open up my heart chakra and feel love and express love that way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Because you have that strength.
yeah,
And when I first started doing chakra work, I had a lot in my throat.
yeah,
And I used to do these spiritual intensives, like seminars where we would go like 9 days, like meditating and going through these blocks and illusions.
yeah.
And there was one where I just sat against a wall, I faced a wall, and I was just screaming everything I had to say.
Oh, so
Like it was
wonderful.
like, oh, it was amazing. It was
I
so
bet it was
freeing.
ah.
Oh, it was
You
so great.
probably
Everything
saw
that had
things
ever.
coming out of your
Yes,
mouth.
practically yes. And I even almost threw up a couple of times. Like it was just coming out of me, like all the ways that had like gotten stuck inside of me in some way.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I
And that's
mean, it was
another
one of the
example of
most.
sound and music and stuff being
Yes.
so you can't express anything else any other way. That
Yes. And the
even a deaf
meditation
person
was
can scream,
totally,
Feel it.
yeah. And it
Yeah.
opens up the chakra. And even when I don't have anything that has to come out, it still opens that seven chakra. And in this particular meditation, it's like often there'll be loud music. So while I was doing this, it was like rock music, like Metallica.
Cool.
It was so amazing.
That is
I was
rad.
like
Yeah.
25 and I never experienced anything like that.
That sounds like primal therapy. I've heard of that.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like there are
Yes.
people, a bunch of people get in a room and just together,
Hmm.
not at each
Yeah.
other, from what I understand.
Yes,
Like a
exactly.
release. They all scream together
Yes.
for a while.
Yeah.
I'd like to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
Very
you
much.
can just in your car, just I
True.
would
I
recommend
used to
grabbing
scream
a
in a
towel.
pillow. Yeah.
Yes, or pillow, because it'll actually mess up your throat cords if you just do it out loud. But like
Yeah.
it's really like sometimes if I'm just stuck between clients, I'll just grab a towel or a pillow and just scream, just to like get it out of me.
Exactly. I used to do that a lot when I was younger, screaming into a pillow.
Yeah.
I used. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. As a child, you just naturally knew to do
I
that.
was more like in my teens that I learned that.
Yeah,
Even when my
teens.
parents would
Yeah.
hear me going,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
We
Lisa, that's amazing.
both did
Wow.
that. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to know, so how can we have this like kind of humble attitude, not like a lot of okay, let me like this is kind of I'm looking at your outline. I want to phrase this exactly.
Hmm.
I'm thinking like we're going with another word thing, humility. So with the ego,
Yes.
where what is humble? Like what do people consider humble? Because some of my clients, they're really wonderful and it's hard for them to express it when I'll get them to say it. Great, you're good at this, you're wonderful at this, look at this quality
Mm,
and be proud of it. And if they're regulars, eventually I'll get them to say it to me that they
hmm.
actually say, I feel pretty good about myself or about this or about, and then eventually be, I'm good at this or I'm
Hmm.
whatever. And that's what I'm hoping that they'll see what I see, how talented
Hmm.
something, but they don't want to say it. We've all been raised to
Right.
brag, but there's a difference
Yes.
between bragging and explaining yourself, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's I would call that another illusion that is a tricky MF,
Yeah.
where their unworthiness is actually an illusion. And a lot of, especially women have it, but definitely there's tons of men that have it. And again, I'm sorry, it's a gender non-binary. I'm trying not to speak like that. But
Me too.
I
Hard.
yeah, I think that let me just get my thoughts together on it.
The humble kind of
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
something
that
you have right here in your outline. This is something I always say to my clients, and I love reading this. You will never say you know for sure in a reading the future. That is so
yes.
true right there.
Yes.
I was like, I'm never sure of anything. I'm not sure what color
Yes.
shirt I'm wearing unless I look at the screen, you know?
Yes. Thank
I'm
you
still
for
a girl.
giving me that example and reminding me,
Yeah.
because that is so true. And that, I think, then this, it can be this, what I would then a label as the psychic ego, but psychic arrogance or whatever,
Yeah.
because we don't know. And the way I try to explain it to clients is, technically you could get bit by a shark tomorrow. A lot of things could
Yeah.
happen that
You
I'm
didn't
not
ask.
necessarily going to see,
Yeah. You didn't ask that question. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I like,
We don't
you
know it
know,
all. Yeah.
yes.
The guides, the cards, our intuition, you guys are protected from anybody knowing anything. You protect yourselves.
Yes.
And we do too. I think we have our guides filter to their guides, and their guides filter our
Yes.
lots of ways you can read. As like, I don't think we're ever given any information that they can't handle, or
Yes.
that they need to. So a lot of times it's very positive too. Something coming in,
Yes.
a guy give me some clues and some juicy bits, but they won't tell me what's going to happen or where. They're like, no, she or he has to experience it themselves. They're like, I refuse to say anymore. Tell them that.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Because
they
there's
said you
been
have to
things
go
that,
through it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there have been things that were lessons in my life that I am so grateful I was not told ahead of time, because
Yeah.
I would have just went into worry and
Yeah.
anxiety and trying to prevent it. But it was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Like, ends of relationships are rarely fun. Sometimes you get a
Yeah.
good one, but hardly. I mean, come on.
Nah, I've never
So,
had
yeah.
one.
But there I have had some experiences where things could end in love, but usually prior to that, there's something's not right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that there's just something about letting destiny unfold and
Experiencing.
not, yeah. And sometimes there is something destined that you can change for good
It's
or for bad,
I
you
believe
know?
that. I think that's the whole point of
Yeah.
tarot. If you've listened to the podcast, maybe you've heard me
Hmm.
talk about that magician card.
Yes.
That's like what I
Yeah.
think that's what the tarot's for. Is like, here's what may happen, and here's how you
Hmm.
change it. And there's actually
Yeah.
that Galaxy Tarot app had it as an advice spread, and I love it. It's like the first card is a way to look at it. Second card is the challenge. Tarot loves challenge,
Mm.
not the tough part. And then the
Hmm.
third card is the advice. And then the outcome is if you take the advice. I like that spread
Mm.
because it kind of, and it can be a
Hmm.
tricky one too. It can show you what would happen if you do the wrong thing, like
Yes.
ends up with
Yeah.
10 of
Yeah.
swords if you do this. So, and it all makes sense at
Yeah.
once, but it's really good one, I think, for advice because it does say if you take the advice, this is probably what'll happen. But it has a lot of it always works. I don't know how to explain it. It's the best tarot spread I have ever learned, I think. Like,
Hmm.
always work.
Hmm.
Amazing. Just
Yeah.
yeah, I lay more than 4 cards down a lot, but on top of them or something. But that one is just great because it's so like flexible. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even like the 5 questions you asked for your guests here, there's so
Yeah.
much that can happen from those 5
Yeah.
questions.
And it always
I mean,
does.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am so glad you're a listener. That makes me happy. And you know what else she is, listeners? She is also an advisor on Everclear, as I am. And we would like to thank Everclear right now for being our sponsor of the podcast. Everclear is a website, everclear.com, or an app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And Faith, you are named Faith D on Everclear.
Yes.
Okay, I'll put
D
that in.
like deer. Yeah.
Where else can they find you?
I am everywhere. And
Everywhere, Faith.
at
Dear.
Faith
There you
Dear
are.
Readings. Yes.
That's what we're projecting right now.
I am all everywhere.
You are all
No.
everywhere.
Well, maybe my higher self, my true self. But as far as in this material realm, you can find me at all the social media platforms. It's Faith Dear Readings, spelled DEAR, Faith Dear Readings.
Okay,
And also, you can email me, faith@faithdearreadings.com. And all of those social media pages have links back to Everclear where you can talk to me. And I don't know if everybody knows that much about Everclear, but you can send messages, you
Yeah.
can talk on the phone, you can talk through chat. There's a lot of ways to connect.
And you can
So
set up
I
appointments.
prefer,
You can, yeah,
yes,
that's what I like with
exactly.
appointments is set
Yeah.
them up. So yeah, what do you like?
I love the appointments, and I love that after a reading, we can just say, like kind of end it for a
I
minute or say
love
goodbye.
that. That means so much to me because sometimes it's like
Yes.
let's just run out in the middle of a sentence and you can finish it up,
Yeah. Yes,
and
exactly.
you can
And,
touch base.
yeah. And sometimes I'll send like a little meme or,
Yeah,
just,
me too. Yeah.
yeah. Or I'm thinking about somebody, I can send a quick message. So
Yeah.
it's so amazing. I love the platform.
I do
And
too.
I
The
think
way
it's,
it works is amazing. Yes.
and it's, I'm laughing because I don't even know what I'm allowed to say, but it's like less expensive than a lot of platforms.
Yes,
They treat the readers really, really well
they
financially.
do. Yes, they
Yeah.
and personally too.
Yes.
Just like people. I've every other place I've worked on a platform that was working platform. Not yeah, I was in with a lot of startups that didn't work out. When I
Uh-huh.
when I was looking for and Everclear was one of the startups I started with, and they worked out though.
Yeah.
Worked out
Were they
great.
started by readers? Is that
I
true?
have no idea. I don't know who started.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I applied for the job in November of 2019 when I first saw it. I've been looking though, so when it first popped up, I was probably one of the first people to apply, maybe.
Wow.
Um, and I liked the name because I thought it was funny, and that's why I wanted to
Yeah.
apply.
Right.
It's like there's like GA, what
Yeah. I
first,
know. Oh, when you
wow.
search for it, a lot of times you get the band first, but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I forget about the band. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking of the drink.
Yeah, the drink too. Yeah.
First
Which is
thing I
probably
thought.
what the band is named after. Yeah.
On LinkedIn, on Everclear, on their page, you can see the people who work for them that are LinkedIn on LinkedIn. And
Mm.
one person says his job is an alcoholic at Everclear. I think it's one of the male readers, one of the guy readers.
Oh.
They left it.
Oh.
They have a good sense of humor too, guys.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun.
Yeah. You have to.
You
Yeah.
have to, yes, and
Yeah.
laughing is the best. So, what advice do you have?
Yes.
So to like put the however you want to term it ego out of the way and get your humility
Mm.
out and your heart open to share that love and teach.
Well, I think there's three big things. There's this saying in the Indian traditions where there's a guru and a master, that tradition. There's a saying that it's 25% the guru. Oh, I'm going to mess this up.
You got this. Is it
Anyway,
in the
it's no, I didn't write it down. You just pulled it out of me. But some percentage. It's 25, 25, 50. And I think it's 25% the guru, 25% the disciple, 50% God. But to answer why I bring that up is that I think it's your personal desire to have that kind of truth, the no,
Yes, I know.
and KNOW. And then I think to really get rid of it, we can't see it ourselves, like you were saying in your relationship. And we need help, be it from really trusted friends. That's why I loved your podcast on the mentors, because when I started, I didn't really have a mentor, and the platform I started on wasn't Everclear. I'm still on it and it's good. They're making a lot of changes and it's really good. But when I first started on it, we weren't allowed to talk to each other. We weren't, and
I hate that.
I know, and I didn't know who to go to with these questions, know. But I think that you really need help to see, like you said, with unworthiness. Like you can be, when I first started, I needed a lot of help with unworthiness. It was so ingrained in me, and I needed someone saying, you know how to do this.
Right.
And you don't have to drop into that place. Like what is your intuition telling you, know? And so I would definitely, and also it's just so nice. Like when you were talking about your mentor, Phil,
Philip,
like, oh my gosh, like I could really feel you guys' connection. It's going to make me cry, I think, but it's so amazing to have that kind of help.
He was, he was amazing. And I'm about to cry too. I sent him an email recently. We had parted ways kind of uncomfortably over a business thing with a friend of his. It was a book project that we didn't do. Is a long story, but I did write him, and it'd been about 6 or 7 years, and he just wrote me back about his cat. And
Oh.
I haven't heard from him. He must be about 75 now, I guess, 73.
Mm.
Maybe older. No, I think about 73 now. And I guess he's okay. He didn't say much personally. He just talked about his cat. So, and that cat, he
Mm.
said she saved him. So I don't know what she
Oh.
saved him from, but she saved him. So hopefully Philip will
Yeah.
be, if he comes around, if we, ever feels like it, he'll be on the podcast if he comes back around. I don't
Oh,
know.
that would be
Cool.
so great. Wouldn't that be
Yeah, that would
wonderful?
be. I'd love to connect with him.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Philip, if you're hearing this, please do an
Philip,
interview.
Son of Wolf. That was his name on Skype, Son of Wolf.
Son of Wolf. I
Wolfie
like
with an
that.
E on the end. Wolf.
Cool. Oh, what a great last
Yeah, it was a
name.
great. Yeah, that's just what
Yeah.
that's not his last name. That was just his username on Skype.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that would be a
Oh,
great last name. Um.
yeah.
Anyway, and do you have anything last you'd like to say to the listeners, or?
Yeah, I have a public service announcement I like to give to readers or to anyone who's in this work, is that if you're bothered by the energy, or like if you feel it's even a dark energy or anything like that, you can just ask it to stop. And all of these energies, either light or dark or wherever it's coming from, they listen. They really do listen. It's actually impossible for someone to put like a spell or a hoax on you without you somehow colluding in it, believing it. And because I was so open, I would sometimes believe I couldn't do anything about these dark energies I would feel.
Yeah.
And then my spiritual mentor said, you can tell them to leave. And once I learned that, it happened immediately, and I was never bothered again. Like, I don't get bothered
Do you
after
just say
readings.
it out loud?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you feel it, you push energy out when you say it? Or
when I first started, I needed to push some energy out. Like sometimes I would pace around the room. Like if it was the middle of the night, I would turn all the lights on and play music.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would scream.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten to the point where it can be a little calmer for me.
Yeah.
But sometimes people go like with like little guns, like
yeah,
like just whatever. There's sometimes people snap like anything to just kind of make this statement, like shake your head, shake your body, like I'm not doing this, or like sometimes when I wake up I have to put on a rock song or something, like just shake off whatever that illusory stuff is that's telling me I can't do it, I'm bad, whatever.
And for me, another thing, that's really great. The shake it off. I like that. Like when Reiki, I don't know if you've taken Reiki, but you like wipe. Listeners, you can't see me, but I'll show you in another video. I'll do another. I did in my Reiki podcast. Probably like you pull the energy off. You can probably see it, kind of.
Yeah,
you can tell it's there, right? And then you kind of see it coming off. Listeners, you just have to feel it. I feel better, but that's something I do a lot. And I try to also like light a candle. I do a candle just to cheer myself and get myself out of the funk or out of that mindset, headspace, where I'm a piece of crap and I can't do anything right. That kind of, sometimes I feel that way. So I'll get a yellow candle and I'll light the stage, stuff, just do something to try getting out of it.
Yes.
I can't do like what you're talking about. Like, I have to like, slowly build myself up to this energy, like as I'm resisting it. Part of me, part of me that wants to stay up.
But what's so amazing about that is that you're listening to what works for you and the whispers that work for you.
And you are,
because there's and that's the same thing with the mentor. I put a whole list on here, but like there's so many places you can go for mentorship. Like mine was Center of the Golden One. You can Google that. There's Inside LA has great Buddhist meditations. The Self-Realization Fellowship, Everclear has some different blogs. Psychologically, like there's equine therapy, there's psychedelics, there's so many things where you can get help.
Yes.
And just the other thing I wanted to mention as advice is if you go to sleep with intention, some people would say go to sleep with prayer, whatever you feel, that can help so much, because that's when your, whatever we're calling the ego illusion, whatever, is less dominant. And so your spirit can really work with you. Okay. So if you have a question like, should I leave this relationship? I would always take 7 days for big questions, but go to sleep with that question. And right when you wake up, see if you got any information about it or see what comes to you during that week. Like for me, I'm always listening to music lyrics,
Yeah, me
like
too.
and so I think Divine is going to use whatever you're looking for.
You're
So
right.
if you're looking for music, if you're looking for animals, if you're looking for numbers, you're going to get some kind of sign.
You will. Yes, you're right. You will. Everybody who's ever, I don't know about that in particular. I'm going to try it though, going to bed with it.
Hmm.
Other people I know who would just ask out loud, please send me a sign that my mother is still there because she's passed away. One of them know my
Mm-hmm.
mother's there. And then they see like a butterfly or that they saw the
Yes.
sky, the same kind of butterfly or something like that, and
Yeah.
I've heard so many stories like that happens for people like that. And it's not coincidence, folks.
Yeah. Like you were saying, Philip's mentor went outside and there were like 12 crows around her.
He said there were dozens. He said there were dozens of them. Just
Oh
she
my
came down from
gosh.
the sky in the middle of the street in New York and flew all around her and then went back up. I can't imagine. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The stories he told me about her are just like,
I
yeah.
love that kind of stuff.
I did get a reading from her one time. She was a reader on the same platform we worked on, and she just blew me away. I spent so much money. Oh my gosh, she was worth it. I can't remember any of it now, but I loved it. It was great. But
Yeah.
I could just talk to you, Faith, dear,
I
forever.
know. Yeah.
It should
Yeah.
never end. You have to come back when Misty's here. She's
I
a fan
absolutely
and
want
everything. She would
to.
love to have you on. When she hears that you
Yeah.
everything, she's gonna be like, "Oh, I wish
I know. Well, when we
Smashing
finish the
Pumpkins,
recording, I have, yeah, Smashing Pumpkins. I
right?
love
Yeah.
that. What is it? Anyway, I won't bother. But there's
What?
that
No
one of their
bother.
songs I love. Bullet, butterfly wing, bullet with the anyway, there's a
I knew Gish. I knew the first album Gish really well.
yeah.
And then I think the Siamese Dream was one of the albums.
I think it might be a song off that. It's one of their most, kind of more famous songs, but
The Rat in the
listeners,
Cage.
yes, that one.
The Rat in the Cage. Okay,
I think it's called Bullet with the Butterfly Wings or something like that.
Okay.
But
okay,
if you want a great rock song to scream to, that's
that
a
one
good
will
one.
do it.
Yeah,
you can whine. You can definitely whine
yes.
with it.
you can thrash. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, listeners. Hey, I want to thank you, Faith, for being on this show and being awesome. And I want to thank listeners and watchers. Always, we love you so much. I love you. We, as in Misty's here, and I'm sure Faith loves you too. And,
Yes, I do.
Gandalf's
I really
here.
do.
He does love you,
so
and Gandalf
cute.
loves you. Gandalf's here. He came at the end to see Faith. And listeners, we hope we think we have a bunch of podcasts coming up in the next week. So you'll get lots of content and we'll tell you more about the psychic school too. So thank you very much for listening as always. And would you like to say goodbye, Faith?
Goodbye, everyone. And I do love you.
Oh, she loves us. And goodbye. Peace out.